everybody, I hope you're having a crafty day. I would like to show you, for some of you who maybe have never done this, how to do a slider card, something a little different, something cute. This is just a mock-up of the measurements, but I'll show you how to do this. And if you're interested, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need some cardstock, or if you're going to use some designer paper, you will need to have heavy paper. If not, you can always glue it on top of a cardstock. You will need a cutter, and you can use it to score, because you're going to need to score. So if you don't use this, you can use a scoreboard. You will also need, or not necessarily need, but you could use a 1-inch round punch. If not, you could use some scissors to make a V shape, and some designer paper. I'm going to use my leftover of Summer Loving. I always like to use up what I don't, what I have left over in a paper pack. So this, I have a nice amount to finish this off, and since it's summer, I'm going to use it. So hang in there, because we're going to have ourselves some fun. All right. For this particular project, we will be making a regular size card. So you will need to cut up 2 pieces of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So on a piece of cardstock. So in other words, I cut the cardstock 8 1/2 by 11 in half, like I would normally do a card. Then you would fold it, but I will cut it in half because it gives me 2 pieces. And then in the lighter color, but it's up to you. For the next color cardstock, you will be cutting a piece at 4 3/4 by 3 1/4, or 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so this is what you're going to need. Now you will be putting this aside, keeping only one of these, and bringing out your cutter. Your cutter, you will be cutting 3/4 of an inch in and cutting it on 3 sides. So you will be putting your cutter in, and if you put it in your cutter and you use your ruler here, you will see that you can put it at 3/4 of an inch on your scoreboard, on your cutting boards, sorry, and start at 3/4 of an inch there, and I can bring it right up to 4 3/4. If I do that, I have exactly 3/4 of an inch there. All right, so you're going to do that on 3 sides, and it'll match automatically. So you're going to put it on the 3/4 inch line here. And if you don't have this, you could take a pencil. There's nothing stopping you to take a pencil. And here you're going to go to, by the way, when you come down the short end, you'll stop in at 3 1/2. But there's nothing stopping you to put pencil marks and cut it with a cutting board and an X-Acto knife. It'll do the exact same thing as what I'm doing here. So you don't necessarily, years ago, everybody didn't have all these tools. So we're going to start again at 3 1/4 and go up to 4 3/4. Like so. Okay? So now I have this. Okay? Now you're going to score. So you can either use your scoreboard, or not your cutting board, sorry, or you can take out your scoreboard, whichever you want. If you don't have a scoreboard, you're welcome to use the other stuff. Now with this, what you're going to do is you're going to take the open end, which is this piece here, okay? You're going to put that against the start here, and you're going to do it up at 1 1/4. But you're going to start 1 1/4 only where the cutting starts, and you're going to bring it down to the other cutting open. So if you can see what I've done, I've only folded this part. I've only scored that part. Then you're going to go and you're going to score it and do exactly the same thing at 3. Bring it all down to the bottom here, and then do it up to 4 1/4, which will be right at the end of your cut line, and it's going to join both cut lines like so. So this is what you're going to have, and then you'll be bending it like this, and you'll be bending it like this. So at this point, you could actually burnish all your score marks, just for, making it work a lot better, like so. So in a really easy card, guys, it's always the mechanics that's kind of like, what are we doing here, you know? Okay, so now we can put this away for now. At this point, you've folded your card, and it's going to look like this. I'm going to put some tape on the side that goes up. Okay, so we are going to put some tape on that side. This side. The one that folds upwards, you are going to put some tape on the inside. I always suggest that you use a good tacky tape for this, or a good glue, because you're going to be pulling and pushing, and if you do that, then you won't it won't come apart on you, or whoever you give it to, really. So at this point, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to remove my my tape. And then you're going to take your piece of cardstock that you cut up at 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and you're going to line this up right at the edge of that cut. But it's going to have an overhang, so try to center it if you can, as much as you can on each side, like so. If you happen to have a little bit of an overhang, like I do here, because I cut it, I did cut it a little bit quick. I know we all do that. Just take your good old little scissors, or if you wanted to, use your cutter and just slice off the edge there. So this is what you end up having right here. So when you're going to pull it on this side, you end up having this happen to you. Okay, so you have this, and you have, can you see what it's doing by pulling this? This goes up this way, and you pull it up. This is why it's important for you to burnish it really good, but it does work. So now, from this point, you're going to take either a pair of scissors, or in this case, I'm going to take my round punch. I'm going to center it. I just eyeball it. You can measure it if you're very specific. But I'm just going to eyeball it here and do this. This is going to be a tab for you to pull. Now, I'm going to do the same with the opposite side. I go get the other piece of cardstock that I cut up, and I'm going to add it together. And in order for me to punch it at the same place, what I did, everybody's different, but what I did is I pulled that piece totally on the back, like so, and then I gathered the corners to match, and then I did my hole punch. So it would be even. When you got a good pair of eyes, this goes really easy, as you can see. So there you have two circles that are the same. This is going to be for you to pull your tab out. Okay? Now, at this point, so this is what it does. It just pulls up like so. Okay? You're going to glue this to this piece. So then when you pull it, it does that. In order to do that, again, I will use my double-sided tape, and I will tape on this side and on the other side. Just the two sides, because you know that if you tape the bottom, what's going to happen? It's not going to work. Okay, so make sure your tape is on. Pull off the tape, and then you can align. You can align your cardstock here to match, and there, your base is done for your pull card. See? Now you want to decorate your card. Okay, so this is the part that I wanted to show you with your two pieces of cardstock. Now you're going to need a base for a card. So you can use the bottom end, which is what you had left over, and the opposite color. And you will cut up your base of your card, which is 5 1/2 by, 4 1/4. I'm sorry. 4 1/4 like this. I know my sizes, I just tend to sometimes. And then by 11, fold it in half. Or you can score it if you wish, right in the middle. It's up to you. And you have your card. Okay? This way here, you use up all the cardstock out of the 2 pieces that you've used. This will go on top of this, like so. And then you could have your card. Or, if you didn't want to have a card as such, you could use just this as a card and just dress this up. But I always like to have it on a card. For some reason, I don't know, it just feels better if it's on a card. But I need to dress up this card. So I will take my paper right here, and I will dress up to the way that I like it. Let me do this off camera because everybody has different tastes, and I'll show you the finished product. And that's how easy it is, guys. Very easy. I'll just recap it to make sure you guys are on the same page as I am. You will be cutting 2 pieces of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, 2 pieces. Then you will take and cut off an opposite color of paper. It doesn't matter. You could even use scraps for that matter because it's going to go inside. But I use the opposite color. And you're going to cut it at 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. You're going to glue this inside this piece like so. You're going to glue it on the edge. But before you do that, you'll be scoring the cardstock and you'll be cutting it. So you've got your pieces cut up. You'll put 1 piece on the cutting board and you will cut 3/4 of an inch on 3 sides, leaving 1/4 inch to the front. So you have 1/4 inch frame all the way going around. Then you're going to score at 1/4 inch. You're going to score at 3, and you'll be scoring at the end, meeting the 2 cut lines. Then you'll be gluing your other piece on the edge of the cut line, and which is here, and you'll end up having, it'll look like this from the back side. Okay? Then, once it's all glued and you've had it all bent and scored and burnished real good, you will take your other piece of cardstock that you cut up and you will put it on top. I forgot to mention, you will make a hole here. You saw that. And you'll match the hole behind, because if you don't, you'd have to put your hand into the box. And that could work too, but this is so much easier. And you end up with a slider like so. Okay? And then we dress it up. I'll be right back with the finished product, guys. I hope you enjoyed this so far. Alright, guys. I thought I'd show you what I finished with. I just used a whole bunch of the leftover summer collection that I had, and there you go. Isn't that so sweet? In the pullout here, I just added Summer Picnic, and on the front here, if you can, and I put sundress as you open it up in that spot. Isn't that cool? Look at that little dress, eh? And with the glasses, I just dressed it up so you can open it up. The recipient can open it up and put it where they like. It's such a sweet, sweet card, as you can tell. See how it does? Okay? And then, when they open it up, totally, I just did up a little something inside so I can, if I want to, having a barbecue at our house, or, and obviously I made a sticker. One thing I do want to mention, if you do put it on a card base, remember that the pull-out here needs to be in the card there also. So don't forget, because then you won't be able to pull the card, the slide out. So this is what I had to show you this week. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Have a crafty week, and we'll see you on the next time. This is Yvonne, and I'm signing out. Bye-bye.